YouTube removed my channel last year around September, October, right? And that was one of the most painful things. Okay, maybe aside from my dad dying, it was one of the most painful things I've ever experienced. Um, because when you build a channel, especially to get to 18,000 subscribers, um, and you get like 100,000 views per week, it's that feeling of, oh my god, I might get a plague, oh my god, I might get monetized. Obviously I started with short, and obviously that affected a lot of things, but when my channel was removed, it broke me, right? But fortunately, I studied law, right? That was the biggest thing. I don't think you would be seeing this video if I didn't study law, because when they banned my channel and they restricted me from ever using YouTube ever again. It wasn't just your channel has been removed. No, it was your channel has been removed and you are banned from creating another channel or using anyone else's channel. Like, even if, for example, like the skills that I've acquired, let's say, for example, I want to work as a social media manager, you know, my skills of building a channel, I couldn't use them, because if YouTube somehow finds out that I'm logging in on a particular YouTube channel, they are going to delete that particular channel, right? It happened with my brand channel. I have a branding company, so it happened with my brand channel. After they removed this one that you're seeing this video on, they they then removed that one after I logged into it, right? And they were outright and said, well, we removed it because your other channel was removed. Um, that shattered me, and I felt targeted. I felt so many things, and I'm the type of person who doesn't let people step on me, right? It hurt me. I sent them emails. I tried to appeal. So basically, what they removed my channel for, according to them, is that apparently I violated spam, scam, and deceptive content policy or something like that. And I was like, how did I do that? My channel had not been monetized at that point. Even now, it's not monetized. How did I scam anyone? How I had not been requesting people to give me money. My content is fully created by me. I hardly use AI. Obviously now I've created a thumbnail with AI, but beyond that, I hardly use AI. I hardly do anything that would qualify as me violating that policy. So I communicate with them. I initially tried to appeal the first time, and immediately within like a few minutes, they came back. Nah, we're not returning your channel. This is last year, 2025, around October, right? I send them emails. I go on the Google support platform. And when I get there, things get worse, because I see other people with the same problem as me. Yo, my channel has been removed, this and that, this and that. And it broke my heart. But I spoke to support, right? And I was like, why was my channel removed? YouTube refused to give me reasons. Um, and at that point, I was like, I'm going to sue these people, right? I was like, I'm going to sue these people. I then started reading YouTube policy. I started reading everything basically that has to do with YouTube. Um, ugh. So as I was reading, I realized that they broke a lot of laws. So beforehand, before they removed my channel, they requested information, personal information, under the disguise of wanting to I don't know, secure my platform and whatever the case is. And then after they got that information, they used it to ban me from the platform. So basically, they needed my identification information in order to identify me so they can effectively block me, right? They didn't have that information, so they lied to me and said, "Yo, we need this, and then we will use it to help you get authenticated or whatever their reason was." And then after I provided it, they blocked me, right? And that was shattering because at that point I thought, well, YouTube is like one of the best platforms for creators, and to have gone through that, in my opinion, was like, wow. I genuinely had a high regard for YouTube, and like in my opinion, I used to think YouTube is at the top of the food chain. Then maybe others will follow, maybe Facebook. TikTok is at the very bottom, but to be honest, I honestly was not. The pain did not just come from losing my channel, but also disappointment, because I was like, I did nothing wrong, and you are not even willing to give me reasons to as to why this was done to me. Like deceptive tactics were used to procure my personal information, and I tried to communicate with them. They were not even, like, they were basically repeating the same thing over and over and over, that there's nothing they can do. I feel like I was even talking to robots or artificial intelligence, because you could hear how those the replies were. You can hear that this sounds very mechanical. It's not necessarily authentic, right? So I kept on fighting with them, and I told myself, you know what, I'm going to actually institute legal proceedings. Fortunately, I work in a law firm, and I must say, I'm a South African. I must say, I'm so grateful for South Africa, for South African law specifically, because of South African law, YouTube policy requires you, if you want to take them to court, you have to go to the United States, in San Francisco, right? You can't do anything without um, going to San Francisco. However, in South Africa, there's a law that basically, number one, requires companies that operate in South Africa, the one that Elon Musk is trying to fight against. Um, Number one, they must be compliant with South African laws, must contribute to the previously disadvantaged. But the most important thing is they have to be registered in terms of South African laws. Like, they have to register, right? And establish a base. And once you do that, whatever operations happen in South Africa are subject to South African um, legal systems. Because of that, I was able to have a way to maybe try to actually sue them, because now there are Google offices. Even though YouTube does not have like a physical office in South Africa, there's a Google office where YouTube functions, right? So that was essentially what I was planning on doing. I wasn't planning on going on San Francisco. That would have killed me financially. I don't have the budget for that. So the plan was to basically go to sue Google in Johannesburg, Sandton, right? Obviously, they are the parent company of YouTube. So the plan was to do that. So I started researching and researching and researching, found the constitutional rights they violated, and then I drafted summons. Right before I drafted summons, I was sending them messages trying to resolve the situation. And this year, early this year, I drafted summons and I sent them to them. Right, and then their legal team actually responded, and I still think it was chatbots. Um, so after their legal team responds, we have a communication up until, I don't know, around March, right, where they basically tell me um, I can get my channel back if I just apply for the form. Because at that point I was so mad. I told them I'm not going to accept them just returning my channel. They have to compensate me for violating my rights. Right. So um, after March, I stopped communicating with them. Obviously, I have a job. I work at a law firm, so work got in the way a little bit. And then I came up with an idea, right? A legal platform idea that is going to partially use artificial intelligence. Um, and the best one I could find based on my current situation, the best one I felt like would be perfect for my platform was Gemini AI, which is owned by Google, right? So I had the idea, or rather, I had to decide whether I was prepared to fight Google for like 5, 10 years, because they were going to drag this. I'm sure about that. Um, or focus on my patented idea, um, and use Google products like Gemini AI, um, and just resolve this issue and just get my channel back. And I simply chose to let that go, and focus on building my platform, because I do believe not only does it have the potential to actually change people's lives, um, not even the potential, it's going to change people's lives, right? And that became a lot more important to me than being involved in a legal battle for 5, 10 years. And even if I win, because I was like looking at like hundreds of millions, right? Because um, inside, when you sue someone, obviously you can't just say I won 100 million. You have to justify it. So you have to hire experts, and basically quantify why you say you want that amount. So in the summons, there was a brief section where I described why I wanted that amount, but I was still doing a lot more research, that was going to basically make up my case against Google and YouTube, right? So at that point, I was like, I'm confident in myself. Obviously, um, God will decide if I was right or wrong, but I felt like this was the right decision. I'm confident in my ability to build myself wealth, even though it has taken me a longer period of time to achieve that plan. I'm still confident I'm going to be able to do this, right? So I just decided, you know what, let me just focus on building my law platform and just leave the fight and focus on other things, because there are other things that need my attention. And yeah, I then sent them an email, and then they redirected me to like a form online. So after they terminate your channel, you can't appeal on the channel. It doesn't exist anymore, right? So what you can do is go to the Google platform. There's going to be a section at the towards the bottom where if you can't access an appeal on your platform, you can use that form. And then in that form, you just give them your name, the link of the remove the channel, your email address, and then you describe why you feel like the removal was not proper. And then I did that before I slept. I think it was 2 days ago, yes. Before I went to sleep, I sent them that email, or rather, I filled up that form. And then when I woke up, my channel was back. All I can say is I wouldn't have this channel. You wouldn't be seeing this video if I didn't study law. Because, and this is the unfortunate part, even if you go to an attorney, I hate saying this, but a lot of attorneys will not have the ability to identify what the problem is. Not all of them, but a lot of attorneys. Because I've had people who've had issues, legal issues, separate from what I'm talking about. Let's say, for example, someone practices, is a general practitioner, and someone comes to them with a particular problem, and then they're like, nah, there's no case here. And then they go to someone else, they get a second opinion, which usually is our law firm or the law firms that I've been working for. And I'm like, there are ways, or maybe it's because I'm stubborn and I don't accept the defeat very easily. So whenever someone comes to me, I do a really hard research. So in most cases, like let's say hypothetically speaking, if I didn't have legal knowledge and I had to go to an attorney, I highly doubt there are many who would have been able to identify what I identified. And YouTube didn't give me my channel back because they felt bad for me. They saw what I had, and much like myself, they felt like it's not worth the fight, right? Um, so yeah, I'm thankful that I studied law, and I genuinely don't feel like any other attorney would have been able to identify some of the problems that I found, right? And this is not just me being conceited, it's me learning from past experiences of clients coming and they're like, no, I went to this particular person, they say this is what the law says. A lot of attorneys, especially in South Africa, do not do a lot of research. A lot of them use experience. Like, if someone knows a particular thing, they are going to stick to that. One of the few people, like I'm grateful that I've worked for the people that I've worked for, Mr. Mahoro and Mr. Mohodiri. These are two exceptional attorneys, and because of that, I've been able to formulate a way for me to actually be good at what I do. So because of that, I was able to identify certain things, and I'm grateful for that, man. So, in conclusion, we're back. My channel is back. I still have a bit of work to do. YouTube took a year away from me of growth, potential monetization, a lot of things that I needed to do and to achieve, but it's fine. It's fine. As long as we're back, I have other things that I need to focus on anyway. So, yeah, keep watching. I mean, I'm going to be posting this everywhere, but this is specifically for my UFC sports channel. So don't follow me or subscribe to that particular channel. The name of the channel is Once Upon a Slugfest. Don't follow that channel if you are not interested in UFC. Obviously, this one I'm going to post it everywhere, but do not follow me if you don't enjoy combat sports content. Unless you enjoy what's posted on the channel that you are seeing this on. So I'm going to post this on my personal channel. I'm going to post this on my law page. I'm going to post this on my sports channel. So if you don't like anything that you are seeing, if you are here just for this video, it's fine. You don't have to follow the channel because now you're going to ruin my algorithm. You're going to follow me for support and then you're not watching the videos or content. So what's the point? So follow me or subscribe if you like the content. Anyway, yeah, I felt like I needed to make this video. A lot of people were asking me many questions. Thank you for watching. Deuces.